All right, guys. Good morning. Sorry. Let me know if it works. Sometimes when I do this, it sounds like a robot. So let me know if it works. I had to plug my mic back in. What's up, Steve? Hidden, Ray, VA, Cash, Crypto, Fox, Ava. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, TSM is up huge amounts. Huge amounts. This is what's driving the market today. Is mostly TSM. Stocks are kind of back up a little bit today as well. Yeah, so Taiwan Semiconductors is up today because they said they might make as much as 56 billion in capital spending for this year, stronger than anticipated. It shows confidence in longevity of AI, which is good, making AI stocks rise this morning. It expects expenditures of 52 billion to 56 billion this year, up at least a quarter from 25. It also foresees revenue growth close to 30% this year in 2026, faster than the average analyst estimate. Shares in key suppliers ASML Holdings NV rose 7.6 to a record in Europe as well. But yeah, basically, they think they're going to spend a lot on AI, helping boost a lot of stocks, but specifically TSM is up big. You can see Nvidia all the way at 186, dipping down to 185s a little bit right now, though. Bitcoin up to almost 97,000 this morning as well. And we got jobless claims unemployment today. Let me fix this bottom scroller here. All right. Jobless claims, again, unemployment, jobless claims data, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Expected at, what? I think it's like 214,000 this morning. 214K for jobless claims. Yeah, so yesterday we had PPI inflation data. Today we got jobless claims. It's expected at 214 to 15 today. Last time it showed up at 208, and they revised the last one up a little bit. We also have import-export prices, New York Empire State manufacturing data, Philly Fed manufacturing data today as well. So that's what the market's looking like today. Again, you can see the NASDAQ at 25,830s. Bitcoin, again, right around 97,000, just under it. If we look at yields today, yesterday they were at 4.152% or so. They're at about 4.15%, up very slightly, basically flat on the day for yields. If we look at rate odds here, the CME watch tool, rate odds are currently sitting at about 95 to 5% likely of a pause this month. So it's very unlikely we cut rates this month. We're probably going to pause. Netflix is green. Silver is down slightly. If we take a look at like precious metals today in the wake of everything going on there, silver still at $90+ an ounce. Gold has fallen down to 4600s, but it's slightly red on the day, but still pretty green. You know, again, the SPY is green. The NASDAQ is green. On the chip news today, basically most chip stocks are up after TSM's increase. Potential in AI. Again, 56 billion in capital spending is what they think they're going to spend, up to 56 billion this year for 2026, which is a big number. It's more than anticipated. It's boosting AI hope. And yeah, we'll see if it holds this morning. We'll see if it holds. What's up? Reggie, Jay, Jonathan, Faye, Sky, B, BA, Pew, Mark, K, Steve, Cash, Ava, E, Crypto, Cash Investor Guy, Fox. What's up, guys? Morning. Yeah, I took a little bit of profit in silver yesterday. I'm slightly green on the day today, though, so that's good. We're green on the year. That's what's important. And yeah, again, we got jobless claims unemployment data today. Yesterday, I'm trying to figure out. Wait, let me figure this out. Probably, I'm trying to figure out when the next most probable date for the opinion on the tariff decision. Yeah, because again, we were supposed to maybe get an opinion yesterday. We didn't. So the next most notable window for the Supreme Court's opinion on the tariff case is the upcoming opinion release days over the next few weeks. Market odds clustered around the decision before February 1st, still higher by March 1st. There's no fixed date on this. Opinion days at 10 a.m. during the January sitting in early February, where traders think it's probably going to happen. Again, yesterday on January 14th, the court did release opinions, but again, did not include the tariff case, again, confirming that the decision is still outstanding. It does not pre-announce which specific cases it's going to be deciding on. They think it's a 70% chance we get the opinion before February 1st and even higher before March 1st. So again, they think it's going to be on one of the remainder of the January sitting days, which is late this month. Yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. Let's do a poll here. Are you bullish or bearish on today's jobless claims report? No. Again, TSM is up big, is pushing all the other chip stocks up. I mean, I'm bullish today, but I'm also a little bit nervous about buying, if that makes sense. Like, I think we could run. I think we're up a lot in chip stocks, NVIDIA, TSM, the NASDAQ, the SPY. But I also think we're elevated and maybe we pull back a little bit just in terms of general corrections. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so I'm asking, people are asking me about why did silver drop like it did. I don't, early or late last night. It dropped down to 86. People are describing this as profit taking after the blow off move. They note the silver run was overextended, tariff policy and headlines ahead. So the president delaying or signaling flexibility on certain metal tariffs dented part of the extreme resource nationalization or nationalism and tariff risk premium potential. I see more downside tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, silver's gone up dramatically. And again, we made money on it as well. We took a little bit of profit yesterday morning, though. If you guys remember, we took some profit yesterday morning. And it looks like, I don't know if it was a good move or not. Silver did end up tapping 93.70s before the close yesterday. So it may have gone higher. I mean, we're very green in our position, but still. Again, looking at our poll, 68% are bullish on today's report. 68% are bullish. 31% are bearish. 32% are bearish. Yeah, there's some other stories to talk about. But again, the big story today is that TSM increased spending. $56 billion potentially this year in 2026. And they are up dramatically. You can see TSM's move here. It is, again, boosting most microchip stocks. AMD up to 230s today. Apple, or not Apple, we can look at other AI stocks particularly and see if they're reacting. Meta's not up that much. Google's having a great week, great month so far. Again, Apple is kind of flat. Microsoft, kind of flat. But again, microchip stocks, Nvidia up, AMD up, TSM obviously up. So chip stocks doing really well this morning. One sympathy from Taiwan Semiconductors, and we'll see if it holds again. Looking at silver. Silver's back up to 90s, got bought back up after that drop yesterday. Yeah, again, 56 billion in potential AI spending this year is what's following, or what driving these market moves this morning. So big moves. Again, potentially 56 billion for Taiwan Semiconductors. That's dragging it up. Silver ripped on tariff, safe haven fear, and then sold off once the president signaled he was holding off on broad metal tariffs, and traders took profits into an extended chart is what people are blaming this on. So the president and the White House indicated they would hold off on sweeping tariffs on critical minerals like silver, talking instead about bilateral deals and ideas like import price floors, which ease the max tariff squeeze and silver narrative. And so that's what people are essentially blaming it on. Just profit taking and maybe more supply of silver causing some fears about corrections. But again, silver got bought right back up. So it didn't really hold down. It went down to 86. It's back up to 90 plus now. It's almost to 91s again for per ounce in silver futures. So silver got bought right back up. I know it changes to auto to sub only mode. I'm trying to figure out why it does that, Pawn. I really don't know why it does that. It's strange. I have to reach out to them. It auto jumps to sub only mode. I really don't know why. Like, I'd like to be able to turn off sub only mode, but I'll have to reach out to them. Like, I could try to turn it off again and see if it holds, but I don't think it will. Like, look, because when I do it, it goes blank. Like participant mode goes blank, and then when I refresh the screen, it's back in sub only mode. So it doesn't hold down there for some very strange. It might show you that I turned it off right there, but yeah, it doesn't work. It's all right. I mean, you guys should subscribe here. I mean, obviously you should subscribe, but you know. I'm waiting to see silver at $100 an ounce. I think silver, it might hit $100 an ounce. It's very close to that, and I think that's a big psychological level, and I think that just makes sense to a certain extent. So right, exactly, Nick. That's what I'm trying to fix. Wait, John took profit just before the sell-off. Is he an insider? An insider with who, bro? I mean, I'm still in it. Just don't get me wrong. I'm still in silver, but I took some of it off for sure. All right, guys. Jobless claims unemployment going live in an hour. Yeah, I'm looking on social media to see any other big news that's releasing here today. Goldman Sachs did post earnings pretty recently, about 4 minutes ago. We'll put these numbers up, but here's Goldman Sachs earnings. So Goldman Sachs is moving a little bit. but it's kind of flat. Morgan Stanley also posted earnings this morning. Here's Morgan Stanley's numbers right here. Again, Goldman Sachs kind of flat so far, up a little bit. Morgan Stanley had one of these rogue orders go through that kind of use the price, but they're up a little bit as well. Not much liquidity though for these investment banks today. Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna get the next opinion day to see the Supreme Court decision. Prediction markets show probability that we get the decision before February 1st. Again, but the big story again today, microchip strength, TSM at 340s. Peace. Yeah, so the calendar so far doesn't list the opinion days yet. Not yet show additional opinion days. Future ones will appear once the court posts new May announce opinion days, but we don't have them yet. It's usually 10 a.m. The court typically posts that it may announce opinions at 10 a.m. on specific days, but we got to kind of wait for that here in terms of the decision regarding this. So that's basically where we are now. We don't know when the next date is going to be. It could be Friday, which is tomorrow. We'll see. But I don't know. Could be next week. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm in SoFi still. I don't think I covered it, but I also think I took profit in SoFi also. So like I'm in SoFi. I'm probably just gonna sit on it. Not a huge position anyway. Yeah, and I'm looking at the news this morning. Again, we did have some investment bank earnings. Morgan Stanley specifically posted earnings. So did Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs board increases the dividend to $4.50 a share from $4. Again, Morgan Stanley posted EPS of $2.68. They expected $2.41. Revenue of $17.89. They expected $17.6. Goldman Sachs EPS of $14.01 a share. They expected $11.40s. So they beat EPS and revenue. Well, or no, they didn't beat revenue. So Goldman Sachs actually missed revenue. They posted 13.45 billion in revenue. They expected 13.9. So a little bit of miss in revenue, but they beat EPS. But again, the big story today is TSM. Look at TSM. Tapped almost 350. And this is why we watch whole dollar numbers here, guys, because look how close it gets to 350. It gets really close up there and then pulls all the way back down. So all right, guys. So I might buy the NASDAQ here. I'm looking at buying the NASDAQ here. Let's try it. We're right around the 200 exponential. I just like it for maybe a continuation. It's definitely not risk-free, but we could try. Add a little bit down here. If we hold, let's see if TSM bounces at the 200 EMA as well. I do like that level. Remember, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. We got 15 minutes until jobless claims come out. Understand everything on the screen. I can't guarantee anything. Definitely not an investment professional. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm kind of messaging if I get the sub only thing fixed. Don't do it, Sarge. We follow you and blame you if something goes wrong. I mean, listen. Top 3 worst trader ever. Don't copy me. I'm gonna add to this as well. Get a little pop here. I'm not gonna add too much though. We're in 3 micros, pretty small. Yeah, we'll see if it holds. I just want to see if we bounce at the 2. I'll let this ride until then, I think. They're down a little bit right now. Let's see if we can add. I don't know if I want to add, actually. I'll probably just leave small. I don't want to start the day with a large loss. Still kind of early in the day. It's only 7:30 market time. So we still got a little time until jobless claim. But I do want to see if we bounce at the 200 exponential. And I think something I'm doing wrong in these trades is I'm buying a little bit too early here. I mean, there's the bounce right at the 200 exponential. So if we would have bought it here, we would have made money in it. Might still, but should have waited. I got to get better at that, I think. I am going to reduce my size a little bit, though. Risk off it now. A bounce. Definitely bias. Top 3 most bias ever. All right, guys. We got 50 minutes. All right, so we did get a bounce here, which is good. Yeah, we got jobless claims unemployment at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're almost green on the trade. Okay, so now we're actually green, which is good. If I would have waited to buy at the 200 exponential, it would have been much better, but that's okay. If we bounce, this is like elevator music right now. Okay, I'm gonna mute this while I'm chatting with the guy. All right, so I'm gonna take a little profit here, lock it in, protect the trade. We'll just let this roll. Maybe add to it if it continues higher. Yeah, this is the micro NASDAQ. Yeah, I mean, look, again, I need to get better at waiting for the 200 EMA. I mean, I'm green on the trade. If I would have held, I would have made more money, you know, but I got to get better at waiting for the actual that I want. My fear is that it's not going to go there and I'm going to miss the trade altogether. And so, you know, that's how it goes. But it bounced exactly at the 200 exponential. This is why I look for these trades, is because there's such an easy bounce level a lot of the time. I can't guarantee anything. You guys know me, not an investment professional. Half the time I'm wrong. But I'm going to cut it right here and then maybe add back the end green day. All right, guys. Yeah, FOMO could definitely be tough. But again, this is why I look for the 200 exponential bounce here. I look for the 200 EMA bounce right here. Very useful bounce level. We can bounce really easily right there. Pivot point. I think algorithms pick this level up is what I think, right? I think algorithms pick this up. And so I think that's why we have such easy bounces. Look at this 825 level rejecting too. And so my resistance level here was spot on. If I would have waited for this level here, it would have been a much better trade where I could just kind of capitalize on this area, if that makes sense, right? So that's what I'm looking at. But Sam. Yeah, I'm gonna take profit when I can. And again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Bitcoin, I'm not gonna short Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. I hope Bitcoin continues to go up. I'm not gonna short it personally. That's just me though. Do whatever you want to do, but I'm not shorting Bitcoin. Do you guys think shorting Bitcoin is a good idea? Let me know in chat right now. Is shorting Bitcoin a good idea right here? But yes or no. Again, I'm not doing it. But do your thing, guys. I'm not. Yeah, again, I'm on the other line with YouTube here. And so, here, I'll put the music up. Looks like most people agree with me. Nope. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm definitely not doing it over the last 24 hours just based off of how strong Bitcoin has been. Maybe it's the, I mean, again, I don't know. And again, look at TSM. So looking at the 200 exponential strategy here, look where TSM bounces. 200 EMA right here. So again, I think people watch the 200 exponential for a pivot point. Yeah, it looks like most people agree with me. I'm not shorting Bitcoin. Again, I'm not a big believer in shorting the healthiest assets in the world just to try to mirror the Big Short movie. You know, I think a lot of people romanticize shorting things. They want to be contrarian and they want to be like Burry or whomever. But I think the odds of making money shorting the healthiest assets in the world is very, very low. And so everybody tries to do it. Very few people successfully do it, to the point in which the people that do it successfully, they made movies about them, you know, and maybe that's why so many people want to be short. I get it, but I'd rather play with the odds in my favor, not against the odds, you know. And so again, people like shorting microchips and AI and all this other stuff. And maybe y'all are right about it long term, or maybe y'all are right about it short term. Long term, most of the time those assets are going to go up. And I'm not an investment professional. I can't guarantee that. You never know. But just looking back at the history of it, long term, generally speaking, healthy assets are going to go up. So I'm not doing it. Yeah, that's right, Ham. You know. All right, so the NASDAQ did continue to go up. Again, maybe I should have held it a little bit longer here. But again, I think this is partially due to Taiwan Semiconductor's TSM right here bouncing right at the 200 exponential. Again, strength, increased AI spending, 56 billion, up to 56 billion in spending this year on AI. That's making a lot of people optimistic about microchips. That is why the market is pushing right now. All right, guys, so We did have China come out today, basically saying that they would maybe work with us to achieve stability overseas. Good. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley earnings today. The president just tweeted, he said he reportedly plans to use private military contractors to protect Venezuela's oil and energy assets, not U.S. troops, according to sources. We'll see what oil's doing today based on this news. Here's oil. Oil's back down to under 60 again. So crude is down to 59.39 in crude futures. So oil is down a little bit on the day. Oh, I'm gonna mute the music for a second again. All right, so the YouTube guy's helping me. Again, I should have held, guys. I should have held. That's my catchphrase today. I should have held. Government shutdown imminent. All right, guys. So we're at 830s right now. 830s. If we pull back to 825s, maybe I'll buy this pullback here. Again, if we pull back to 830s, maybe I'll buy this dip. You think you're smart until you have to spell imminent. I mean, the market's definitely up today on microchip strength. Again, Taiwan Semiconductors think they might spend up to $56 billion on AI this year. This is dragging microchip and AI stocks up. Specifically, TSM is the big one, up to 350s this morning. Back down to 347s today, right now, but up huge. Yeah, January 30 funding deadline is when they're worried about the current funding patch set to expire January 30th. The House has passed a lot of bipartisan funding, minibus packages. Appropriators in both chambers say they have bipartisan top-line deals. GOP leadership is dealing with frequency. All right, they better figure this out. All right, I don't pick sides. I'm not really super political, but they better figure this out. 30% chance of government shutdown. I'll take 30% odds. I'd rather us not shut down, obviously. Selfish reason. But yeah. Again, Taiwan Semiconductors bouncing at the 200 exponential. NASDAQ bounce right there as well. Yeah, so they're basically saying try a different browser. Clear cache and cookies. Bro, I don't want to clear the cache. I don't want to do that, man. Here, let me try for my phone. Let me see if this works. Alright. Can I from YouTube Studio? Let me see. I figure if I could get it to turn off once and not go back, maybe it'll hold. Again, yesterday we did not get the tariff decision everybody was looking for. All right, guys. So urgent Fed meeting 9:15 today. Is it true? I mean, we're definitely not getting like a public Fed meeting today at 9:15 standard time. It's likely a misinterpretation of a scheduled public event. There's an event at 9:15 Eastern Time, a panel discussion on stablecoins with Michael Barr. It's a regular public event and not a non-public urgent policy setting meeting. The next FOMC decision is on 27th to 28th. We do have some Fed members speaking today. Specifically, we have Barr speaking at 9:15, Bostic speaking at 8:35, Philly Fed data at 8:30, jobless claims at 8:30, Tom Barkin speaking at 12:40, Jeff Schmid speaking at 1:30. We do have some Fed members speaking today. Look at the NASDAQ, guys. Look at this level right here. Even if we continue up to break it, like making a pit stop at these levels gives me confidence about these things. Yeah, bro, we better not shut down. Levels are epic. Definitely epic. All right, guys. Jobless claims data. Yeah, the president basically said he does not want war with Iran and will not launch an attack, according to them, according to their ambassador. Oil prices are down on this news, right? So this is why oil stocks are dropping and oil is down. More stability overseas is better for output, if that makes sense. We're down to 59.30s. Again, we did reject right here at this 850 level. So we'll see if that holds. But again, TSM, the big story of the day. Taiwan Semiconductors up. Again, we still got 37 minutes until jobless claims unemployment. Yeah, it all has to do with money. The shutdown and everything has to do with money. Money for pharmaceutical industry and healthcare industry. That's what it has to do with on both sides. Yeah, TSM leading the way. I hope we don't shut down again. We better not, dude. I'm gonna be mad if we do. I mean, I'll find other stuff to do, but I'd rather us not shut down. Again, no tariff decision yesterday. We did reject right there at 853, whatever this level is I have on the chart. Bitcoin's still pushing up. Bitcoin might tap 97,000. It was over 97,000 for a little while this morning. It might break it. Look at it right here. So Bitcoin, again, making a move back up. It's at 96,918 for Bitcoin. We'll see if it continues higher here. Again, we got jobless claims unemployment at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in 35 minutes. Jobless claims unemployment data, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We also have import-export price data and more. So we got more stuff going live then. Yeah, the problem is I can't clear my cache right now. If I clear my cache, one of the cache things is from OBS, right? Which is the streaming platform I'm using. Like it's the streaming application I'm using right now. And so I'm worried if I clear my cache now, it's gonna boot me out of OBS. All right, so we are dipping down a little bit. If we get down to 825s, I might buy that dip. Again, Bitcoin push it up a little bit here. Yeah, whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I've never heard anybody actually say it, and so I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it just cash? I thought it was cachet. Seems French to me, you know. You guys know me. I'm civilized over here. So I would say I'm the top 3 most civilized person ever. You know? Like, it's not niche, it's niche, you know? Again, it's just cash? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You guys know. You know. Alright, guys. Hey, we're at 850s, 840s right now. If we get a dip to 825s, I might buy it again. But honestly, we rejected right here at 853 on the NASDAQ. Again, I do see TSM starting to pull back down here. Bitcoin's still pushing back up. And again, we do have jobless claims today in about 30 minutes. If the tariffs are ruled illegal, won't that crash markets? Want to remove billions in liquidity? I don't know. I think you could see either side of that. I think right now, and here's a retest of this level. I think right now, markets have probably already digested the tariffs getting reversed because that's the most probable outcome right now. So at this point in time, it's like a 3-to-1 likelihood of the tariffs getting reversed here. And so I think recent market movements are getting that baked into where prices are now. And so I think that's the base case right now, is that the tariffs get reversed. Now, I think they might find other ways to implement them regardless, and it might restart the volatility cycle. But I think it's still high probability that the tariffs are going to get reversed. I'm not much of a tea drinker anyway. I'm more like coffee guy. Alright, so we're retesting the 850s here. Again, TSM is starting to bounce a little bit. Oil's down on the day on renewed stability overseas, potentially. Bitcoin is pushing up almost to 97,000 right now. So you can see this Bitcoin rise right here. Look at this. So again, Bitcoin is rising up to almost 97K right now. Again, Goldman Sachs files to sell for a 6-parter. Again, we got jobless claims in 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes jobless claims unemployment goes live. Again, my last name's London, London, so I should drink tea, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it, you know. I'll drink a sweet tea. I'm from Louisiana, so I'll drink a sweet tea. That's about as tea as I get. All right, guys, we're up to 850s right now, 850s. Still trying to break this level on the chart. Look at oil still fall down heavily here. The oil down, it was at over 60. It was like 61s yesterday. It's off a rate 3.64% for yesterday. We do have some de-escalation Middle Eastern news today, and that's why oil is down. Turn the internet back on. Where? Did people have internet problems? Mine has been pretty solid. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. All right, I'm gonna get off with this guy. Oh, you're talking about overseas. Yeah, I mean, 850s right now, 850s still rejecting this level. Look at this level here on the chart. Usually I like 850 even, which would be about right here. 850 even would be about right here. But for whatever reason, I had 853, 855 roughly on the chart right here, and that rejected perfectly right now. So again, we'll see if we get over it. That seems to test. I think a lot of it has to do with TSM today. You can see TSM starting to fall down. Again, Taiwan Semiconductor starting to dip down after going up. Again, 56 billion in potential AI spending this year is driving them higher. Again, we'll see if that holds. Jim Cramer said not to buy stocks right now. And so does that mean buy stocks right now? Uber and Kroger announced a launch of fast and convenient delivery on the Uber app nationwide. So I see that news. So yeah, does that mean buy all the stocks right now? Jim Cramer said no. Is that the biggest bull signal this year? Okay, the ACA subsidy deal looks dead in the Senate, apparently. Did it pass the House? Bro. Alright, so the Senate's going to leave town this afternoon for 10 days. No deal to revive the enhanced ACA subsidies. No sign they're moving towards any compromise. Bipartisan healthcare talks are struggling to reach agreement. Even if they do, the group would need to build consensus amongst senators on both sides in order to pass it somehow. And then convince the president to sign it. Bro, I'm not picking sides. They need to figure this out. Dude, we better not freaking shut down again. All right, so BlackRock's AI partnership with Microsoft raised $12.5 billion. $12.5 billion. I haven't seen Uber stock lately. Look at this pop in the NASDAQ here. Whoa, look at this news. Look at this pop. Might be the biggest candle we've seen all day. What's going on here? Look at this. Something just happened. Something just happened. Look at this move. Let me check other sources here. Just because Jim Cramer said not to buy. TSM did bounce. Yeah, that was weird. That's a big candle all of a sudden. I don't know where it came from or why. But do I buy 850s now? We're over 850s. TSM has been dipping and it's right around the volume weighted average price. Maybe I do buy this. Buy it right here. Add down to 855 or whatever that level's been holding. Add a little bit more down here. The president tweeted again, I think. All right, we're green right now. Okay, the president just tweeted. Maybe that's what this is. All right, we're going to take a little bit off here. Contracts. We'll give it a second here. We're flat right now. It wasn't anything supermarket related that I can see here. Oh. I'm still looking at news. I don't really see anything breaking here outside of the president's tweet. TSM. I'm trying to give it a chance here to bounce. I like this level. We held resistance at this level a lot. But if we can't hold over it, I'll just cut it. It's small. Go back to green. There we go. I'm going to take one off here. Just lock in a little bit. Going higher here. Go. A little bit more off here. Let the rest sit. That candle is called speculating. Yeah, you might be right. Again, I don't see any other big breaking news here. Look at us. Look at us in this trade, though. You love to see it. I cut it right there and just lock it in. Profit. Again, we got a jobs report today at 8:30 in 30 minutes. Or in less than 30 minutes. Sorry, in 22 minutes. Jobs report. It's something. Yeah, the president basically said he'll institute the Insurrection Act if officials don't stop agitating. Soda. What he said. Again, it's a little bit too political for me. I'm very neutral politically on all this stuff, but that's basically what happened. All right, so Bitcoin went right up to 97 again and then rejected back down. Still up over the last 30, 40 minutes. Not really any other big news. And again, jobless claims, unemployment, import, export data. We got a lot of manufacturing data coming out at 8:30 as well at about 22, 21 minutes. Again, a lot of manufacturing data. We have jobless claims, unemployment, which is a week-to-week unemployment claims report. And the reason this is relevant is because a lot of the jobs data we get is delayed a month or more. Jobless claims is a week-to-week report. So this is for last week. This is last week's job data. We can see where jobs are at in more real time in the jobless claims report. That's why it's relevant. Last time it showed up at 208,000 jobless claims. Lower is better for jobs. Higher is worse for jobs. Higher means more people are filing for unemployment week to week. Today they're expecting about 215,000. And again, TSM is up significantly today on higher AI spending potential for 2026 this year, up to 56 billion in spending this year for AI is what it is for TSM. And that's why TSM, if you zoom out here, that's why it's gapping up so much on the day. If you look at it for all the new people joining us here, that's why TSM is up so significantly. It closed yesterday at 327s. It's at 345s this morning. And microchip stocks are reacting. A little bit more stability overseas. And what's been going on over the last few days is making oil go down on the day. So oil is red today. We will see if it holds. You can see oil open the day or close the day yesterday at around $61 a barrel for crude. It's now at 59.20s for crude. So oil is a little red on the day following potential stability news overseas. And again, TSM is at 345s. Also at 8:30 in 20 minutes, we have the New York Empire State manufacturing data for January and Philly Fed manufacturing data for January. So we have manufacturing data. Also, BlackRock CFO says money funds are shaping up to be the year of a steeper yield curve, according to them. BlackRock CFO says money funds are shaping up to be the year of steeper yields. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think once you get to the top, it's all the same anyway. Politics. People like to think it's different, and they kind of play people with, you know, like root for your political side like it's your football team, you know. And they just kind of get people emotional and like wrapped up in it. I'd rather just kind of separate myself and just go by policy alone. But do what you do. Do what you want to do. I mean, it's, you know. Again, I should have held that long. Second trade I took today that I should have held. We are green on the day, but second trade of the day I should have held. I tip on greater than 215K because on higher labor costs. Yeah, maybe. Okay, Apparently my office looks like the biggest kitchen ever. Can't help it, guys. I can't help it. It's really a library, you know. But y'all can't see the library. Y'all just see the background right here. That's all right. It's the best kitchen of all time. Definitely top 3 greatest kitchens ever. Right here. Maybe I should put a stove in here. All right, guys. We're at 863s right now. 863s. All right, guys. We got 17, 18 minutes left. Yeah, thank you, Leon. You know. If it is a kitchen, it's a nice kitchen. Again, it's a library, though. I wish I could turn this camera. My old one used to turn. It's actually a library right here. Here's front of my house. There's the library. What did I do to this? It can't turn it. All ski. All right, let me. There we go. You read all those books? Nah, bro. I didn't read half of those books. Every time I go to the bookstore, I buy a bunch of books. I only read about half of them. It's like an impulse. I'm like, hey, let me buy all these books. I'll read them one day, and then I never do. You know, I throw them up there. All right, guys. We're at 860s right now on the NASDAQ. I don't know if I want to buy 853. And if we get all the way back down there and retest it, I don't like it as much. TSM still struggling to continue higher here. It's still back down at the volume weighted average price. 200 exponential is above it now. Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit. Again, oil's down on the day, and we have jobless claims unemployment in about 16 minutes. Again, 16 minutes. What do we get today, guys? Jobless claims. Well, higher or lower claims today? Let me do a poll here. I realize I haven't done a poll on claims today. I did bullish or bearish. 700 votes roughly. 68% are bullish. 32% are bearish. Let's do one on, do we get higher or lower than, what is it, 215 expected? Today's jobless claims report go higher or lower claims versus the 250K expected. Gonna be the question on the poll. Vote on the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Been a busy week. Next week's pretty busy as well. So BlackRock CFO says money funds shaping up to be the year of steeper yield curve. Canada's Carney is supposed to meet with China's G at 11 a.m. on Thursday. I only have 2 screens right now. I used to have 4. So I used to have one on top, and then I used to have one on top, and then 3 on the bottom. But I replaced the 3 on the bottom with a 49-inch ultra wide monitor. So one monitor curved, and it just goes across the whole bottom. So I only have 2 monitors now. Again, so far on the voting, 57% think higher, 43% think lower. Again, Bitcoin making another push towards 97K. We're back down to almost 853s. I'm not going to buy it again, though. I already bought it a couple times. I'm not going to do it again. We're green on the day. I'll take green. again, markets are up on Taiwan Semiconductors, TSM, at 340s, 350 today. 56 billion in potential AI spending this year, higher than last time. So they are up significantly. Bitcoin still rising, just under 97,000 as we speak. Oil down on maybe potential stability news overseas there. And we did not get a tariff decision yesterday, so we'll see when the next decision is. This song's a little bit too much. That song gives me a headache. Nvidia 190 tomorrow, maybe. I mean, Nvidia was up today, and again, that's one of the big stories of the day is just microchip strength. You know, that's one of the stories today is just microchip strength. Why is Nvidia struggling right now? I mean, Nvidia's not struggling, it's up. It just hasn't really done anything over the last few months. You know, Nvidia's at 185s right now. So, I mean, if we look at the trend, highs of Nvidia are what, like low twos, like 212s? Yeah. It hit that in October. Nvidia just hasn't done much over the last 6 months, really. You know, last 6 months, Nvidia broke highs and then it came right back down. It hasn't really gone back up there yet. Hasn't really gotten back over 200. Which is a big psychological level, I think. We also just got news that the U.S. reportedly seized another oil tanker. It would be the 6th oil tanker, according to Wall Street Journal. Again, according to Wall Street Journal, U.S. seized another oil tanker. Let's see what oil's doing. Oil's dropping more. Get higher output, maybe potentially dragging oil crude prices down today. Hey, what's up, Blaze? How you doing, dude? I don't know. I would say this is a pretty big moves in Bitcoin. I mean, it's at 97,000. How to make gumbo? I'm not good at making gumbo. Roux is really hard to get right. Like, it's really easy to burn it. I'm not very good at that at all. You know, I've tried before. You know, I'm just not good at it. Broadcom? Yeah, I mean, look, oil coming down on this news. AVGO at 348.50s. So, again, chip stocks, Broadcom, AI stocks, making some movements this morning. Again, TSM, Nvidia, AVGO up big. AMD is up pretty significantly, and again, increased AI spending for TSM up to 56 billion. That song, I'm not really feeling that song either. That song's kind of headache. Well, silver crash. I don't think silver crashed. Silver dipped. Again, if we look at silver, it dipped down to 86. It is falling down right now. Look at silver. So it is under 90. I don't know if I'd call it a crash per se. No. I mean, we went down to 85s, filled the gap back up to 90, and now we're right around 90. We'll see if it holds. Here's 853s again on the NASDAQ. Maybe I should have bought that dip. But yeah, silver's coming down a little bit right now for sure. More optimism in equities, risk on is going to make silver decrease a little bit, I think, as well. Yeah, I haven't really heard that much hype regarding quantum stocks like Rigetti recently, although, yeah, they've been basically flat. Flat for them is moving up and down 50% sometimes, or not 50%, up and down 20%. Since November, but they've been kind of stagnant. Like Rigetti stagnant, QBTS is stagnant. They've got some slight higher highs, though, in quantum stocks, so we'll see if they hold. Markets might be just waiting to digest jobless claims and import-export data that we get today. So, you might be a lo-fi music person. I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing. Like, I like some, like, people hate on Skrillex. Some of his old stuff is good. Like, the Doors song, Breaking a Sweat, like, some of his old stuff is good. Like, I listen to some electronic music, but I listen to a lot of different genres of music. Again, TSM at 340s. Again, silver down to 89s here. Let's see if it holds. It bounced right at $89 an ounce right there. Quantum stocks need to show valuable progress, just like AI. Yeah, I mean, quantum had so much hype and so much movement up for those stocks, like so much big movement on the upside for quantum stocks. That they just need to continue to do better and better and better, or they're going to stagnate. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. QBTS or Getty, they're still moving up though since like December, because they were down from over 50%. A lot of them from like October to December, they were down. Again, QBTS was at 47 basically at its peak at the mid-October level, and then it dropped all the way down to under 20 by December 1st. So, we've seen some big movements for quantum stocks, but I'm curious to see if they hold. All right, guys, here we go. Jobless claims unemployment, 6 minutes here. What's up, Chase? Good morning. We did bounce right here at this level, though, man. Look, I told you I wasn't going to buy another dip to it. I had this level on my chart prior to today as well. Enough. I had this level on the chart because I think it was a high from here. It might have been later than that. I don't know when I drew it, but it's holding still on the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ, again, has been up a lot on TSM and others, so... Silver going back to 82.67 makes sense to me. Silver pullback without gold pullback, and I don't see that happening. Buy silver now. I'm already in silver. It is down a little bit on the day, though, but... Again, will Bitcoin hit 80... Will Bitcoin hit 98,000? I don't know. Maybe. Again, 5 minutes left, chat. 5 minutes. That's a VIP. Will Bitcoin break 100,000 this month? Let me know in chat. Yes or no? Bitcoin break 100K this month. Let me know. Again, 61% think jobless claims are going to show up higher than expected today. A little bit less than 40% thinks lower than 215K jobless claims today. Okay, so Republicans, Hill said the Fed and House are working on a date of the Powell semi-annual monetary policy report. Good, they better do it. That's something I cover every year. They better do the semi-annual monetary policy report. We'll see how it goes, though. Bud, going, dude. Oh. Love you, man. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes left, really, 3.5 minutes. So looking at our poll, I asked people, does Bitcoin break 100K this month? No, no, yes, 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 no, yes. Almost everybody voting yes, but a few people. I don't think anybody leaked the job data. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in markets right now, to be honest. All right, I'm sorry. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, basically everybody thinks Bitcoin's breaking 100K this month. We'll see. How much time? We got 2 weeks left of the month. We'll see if we hold. No, yes, yes. Red day today, just barely? I don't know, man. We're up a lot on the day for most things. Like, if you look at silver down, SPY is very green, NASDAQ is very green. To have a red day, we'd have to break all the way down under this level. Here's the NASDAQ, the QQQ. I mean, it's possible. It's, you know, it's the market. Anything can happen. But obviously, I think the higher we are, the less likely that is to happen. So maybe, definitely possible. I mean, we could definitely fill this gap, and sometimes that is what happens. But again, we'll see. Silver's still dipping down here if we look at it. Silver. I'm gonna put the SPY up for the jobless claims report. Have a little bit of everything here. Silver under $90 to get back to 89s. All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes left. $150K by January 19th. Nah, bro, I don't think that's happening. That's a little bit too much of a stretch. That's basically saying by Monday next week, we're going to be at 150,000. Much of a stretch. All right, guys. Hey, 2 minutes left. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Sub. Hit the notification bell. You know you want to. Again, we got unemployment claims going live. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. 8:30. Here we go. 1.5 minutes left. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. We appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Higher than expected jobless claims means more people filing for unemployment week to week. Lower than expected means less people filing for unemployment and ultimately a stronger report for jobs. It's expected at 215,000. Last time was 208K, I believe, right? 208 is what we showed last time. Yeah. And so again, we'll see what this looks like. Again, we got 1 minute left. Again, we cover all the breaking news. Subscribe. You're welcome. Some of you guys, you know, are not subscribed and you're watching the stream every day. I'm talking to you. You know you want to. All right, guys, here we go. 40 seconds, 40 seconds. SPY still pushing up. NASDAQ still bouncing here. Silver still dropping. It's under $89 an ounce for silver right now. All right, guys, here we go. We also have Philly Fed Index, jobless claims numbers, and more today. And 20 seconds, guys, 20 seconds. And here's the report in about 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed if this is delayed. 2x speed, hit the live button. You'll be right on time. Jobless claims report showed up at right now. Okay, so Empire State Manufacturing Index was way stronger than expected at 7.7. Again, way stronger than expected at 7.7. Philly Fed Index was stronger than expected as well at 12.6 versus negative 1.6 expected. Again, 12.6 versus negative 1.6 expected here. Manufacturing sales for Canada came out. And again, NASDAQ hasn't really reacted to this. Where's the jobless claims number? Weird. Okay, jobless claims. Still not out here for a lot of people. Weird. Kind of delayed. Strange. Where's the jobless claims report? Last time they showed 208. Okay, there we go. We're starting to actually show it now. Strange, dude. Jobless claims is a little bit delayed now. Weird. Usually it's never delayed. Very strange. Okay, jobless claims did show up at 198,000 jobless claims. A little delayed, strange. 198K is what they showed up as. Lower than expected at 198 versus 207 expected. 198K versus 207 or 215 expected. 198,000. Lower than expected jobless claims today. Yeah, initial continuing claim showed up at 1.884 million versus 1.89 million expected. So basically flat continuing claims as well. The market, for whatever reason, did not like this report, even though manufacturing data was much stronger than expected. Again, The New York Empire State data much stronger than expected. Philly Fed manufacturing data much stronger than expected. Jobless claims, job market more stronger than expected. Was stronger than expected. I mean, at 198 versus 215. This is unemployment claims week to week. Again, here's the jobless claims report. The week ending January 10th, the advanced figure was 198, a decrease of 9,000. The previous week's level was revised down by 1,000 from 208 to 207. 4-week moving average was 205. So they revised last one down as well. So again, stronger labor data than expected. I'm curious to see what yields are going to do on this report. So I am curious to see what yields are going to do here. So here's 10-year treasuries. We're at 4.16%. Again, jobless claims showed up at 198,000. Here's treasury yields. I'm curious to see what they're going to do on this. It shows stronger labor market than expected here. And again, you can kind of see yields going up, meaning less likely that we're going to cut interest rates. Yields and interest rates can follow each other. And so yields going higher means they're pricing in less cuts because of the stronger labor market. If the labor market is stronger, there's less of a need to cut interest rates, if that makes sense. And so what happens on this jobless claims report? Yields are spiking on this report. Very strange, though. Jobless claims are a little delayed today. They're they were a little late, I should say. Again, they're down 9,000 from the previous week to 198K. Expectations were 215. I'll put this data up on screen. Yeah, 198K, expected 215. So lower than expected. Stronger jobs than expected, guys, is what this is. Again, stronger jobs than expected. You're now scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Again, do you guys look at the NASDAQ go up big on this report? So the NASDAQ is popping higher on this report. We're at 25,000. I love you. Have a good day. We're at 25,882s right now. Look at the SPY go up as well here. So again, silver's still falling down. Again, stronger labor. You guys believe this report here? Is a big question. Do you guys actually believe this report? Yeah, look at this getting bought up here. I don't see any other news causing this swing here. It could be TSM data. TSM's not really bouncing. Nvidia's bouncing. Maybe that's what this is. But again, 198 versus 208,000 for jobless claims data here. So 198 versus 208,000. Again, initial claims or continuing claims showed 1.884 million versus 1.914 million previously. So continuing claims went down. Initial claims went down. New York Empire State data was stronger. Manufacturing index for New York Empire State manufacturing data for January showed 7.7 versus negative 3.9 previously, and only one expected. They showed 7.7. Philly Fed manufacturing data showed 12.6 versus negative 10 previously, and negative 1.4 expected. So manufacturing data was stronger than expected. Again, the market's up. Nvidia's up. Silver's down. Bitcoin's pulling back on this. Again, Bitcoin wants easing, so less easing is what this means potentially. Again, I'm curious to see what the Fed watch tool shows. I'm assuming that the odds of a rate cut this month are going to decrease even more. Based off of this, it was at 5% this morning. It's still at 5% unchanged from that, but this might decrease more, or it might stay the same. Again, jobless claims lower than expected, showing stronger labor and less people filing for unemployment. Also, they're getting better here. I mean, look, here is the, we also have the Fed's Goolsbee speaking right now. He says he is not surprised by no initial jobless claims number. Chicago Fed data showed stability in the labor market, according to Fed's Goolsbee. Again, Goolsbee says he is not surprised by low initial jobless claims number. Chicago Fed data showed stability in the labor market. And you can see the trend here. Here's the trend for jobs right now. So this is the trend here for jobs. So trend's going down for unemployment, which is a good sign. A good sign. Interesting. We'll see what happens. I should have bought 853 again. I'm kind of mad about it. Market is possibly reacting to strong manufacturing data. Yeah, I mean, manufacturing data was definitely strong. We had Empire State and Philly Fed data. Definitely strong. Both of them were way stronger than expected. I don't know what's moving markets, but both of those reports were much stronger than expected. Again, hit the subscribe button. We cover this data as soon as it drops every time. Hit the live button next to the play button if you're delayed. We appreciate it. But subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks so much. Again, jobless claims cool again. Story of the day here. And jobs data cools again. Jobless claims. Watching to see what TSM and Nvidia does. Look at silver still falling. 88.10s. 88.10s. Yeah, oil's definitely down on the day. Higher output potential. Goolsby says the most important thing facing the Fed is the need to get inflation back to 2%. According to Goolsby, I'm not surprised by low claims data. Data points to stability in the jobs market. Again, Philly Fed business outlook 12.6, expected negative 1.4. So much stronger than expected Philly Fed, and much stronger than expected New York Fed manufacturing at 7.7 versus 1 expected. So amount of people who think Jerome Powell is making decisions based on who likes or doesn't really show how they think. Yeah, I mean, I would say Powell's decision, like, look. Okay, look. And again, I'm going to preface this with I am not political at all. Not political. I don't care about either side, to be honest. Both sides probably dislike me. I'm very neutral, and that's kind of how I'd like it to be. But when you look at Powell, you got to look at what he does, not what he says. Right? Powell might say, hey, I don't know if we're going to cut rates. Powell said, hey, I don't know if we're going to cut rates last year in September. And then we did cut rates last year in September. And then during that Fed meeting, he said, hey, I don't know if we're going to cut rates in November. Or was it October? It was one of those months. And then we did cut rates then as well. And then again, during that Fed meeting, he said, hey, I don't know if we're going to cut rates in December. We'll have to see. And then he did cut rates in December. And so people criticizing Powell, like, Powell's been cutting rates. He cut rates 3 times last year. Again, right before the current president's right before the current president took office in 2024, he cut rates 3 times. And so I think he's been going with market data. You know, people hate him, they dislike him. You know, he's got beef with the president. I get it, but he cut rates 3 times. I'm okay with that. And again, I don't think we're cutting this month, though. I don't think we're cutting this month. Yeah, we're not cutting rates this month. Services inflation is not yet under control, according to Fed's Goolsby. Best thing about recent inflation data shows possible waning of tariff impact. Expect to see Fed rate cuts this year, but need data to affirm it, is what Goolsby's saying. NASDAQ flying up on this. Again, Meta also announced a fresh set of layoffs for the Reality Labs division. Yeah, inflation went to 9%. I mean, but look, okay, so in 2020, the Federal Reserve tried to save us from what was ultimately going to be a deep recession or worse by lowering interest rates, right? Lowering interest rates, unlocks leverage to a lot of people, businesses. Hire more, it can ultimately help revive a struggling market, economy, I should say. And so the Fed stepped in 2020, and they lowered rates to almost 0. They did quantitative easing, which is they created online money and then used that to buy up bonds and other assets like MBSs, injecting liquidity into those markets. And again, we also had a lot of other things that didn't have to do with the Federal Reserve that caused inflation. By 2023, inflation was 9+% for CPI inflation. But again, we had a lot of other things in those markets, in that economic state that caused inflation outside of Federal Reserve rate decisions and decisions in general. One of them was just supply chain problems. You know, we had a lot of restrictions during that period of time, so supply chains got propped up in terms of pricing. You know, the stimulus checks, like all that stuff caused inflation, you know. And again, a lot of the inflation people feel now is from that. But if the Fed didn't cut rates to zero, or not zero, but if the Fed didn't lower interest rates, which they should have at that moment for sure, right? If they didn't do that, people would be complaining about that as well. People would say, oh, you know, the Fed's just sitting there. They're not doing anything to help us, right? Like, so regardless of which way they go, they're going to get complaints. But a lot of the inflation we feel right now is from that period of time in 2020. It's from that period of time in 2020. And prices don't really go down, they slow down. So we can try to slow the rise of inflation, but it's going to be very difficult to get prices to literally go down from that. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin tapped 97,000 again, or got close to it. Didn't quite hold, though. Nvidia up. Again, TSM is the big news today. 344s right now. Silver coming back down today. And again, I'm not political. I agree with the cap on credit card interest. You know, I think we should cap credit card interest. So again, I don't pick sides. Don't get too emotional about anything I say here. All love. This, dude, there's some songs that just... The song is called Who Dat. So as a Saints fan, you know, I want to like it. But when it starts off like... I'll leave it. I wish Drew Brees was still the quarterback. I don't know. I don't mind Shuck. Shuck's okay. All right, I gotta change it. Look. I gotta change it a little bit. Right. Yeah, I like Shuck. I think it's pronounced Shuck, but I like Shuck. I think he's good. I'm optimistic for next year in the Saints. I just don't want us to stay the 8s. You know, I lived through the early 2008s. It wasn't fun, right? Still pushing up. Let's see if we break 26,000. Look at Nvidia here, guys. So Nvidia's rising big. Again, Goolsby is speaking right now. He said infringing on central bank independence leads to higher inflation. Growth is solid. Again, he expects to see Fed rate cuts this year, but needs data to affirm it. Best thing about recent inflation data shows possible waning of tariff impact. Again, I'm not surprised by low claims data. Data still points to stability in the job market. There's still strength in jobs and overall growth is good. Most important thing is to get it back to a 2% inflation. Services inflation is not yet under control as well, he says. So, is there a timer for jobs data? Bro, you're late, dude. Jobs came out 16 minutes ago, my friend. Have we had enough time passed since tariffs to see the full effect? I don't know. Jobless claims came out 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. It is now 8:47, roughly. Look at the NASDAQ still ripped, though. Nvidia is bouncing here. I'm trying to make sure there's no Nvidia news. What about TSM? I don't see TSM rising in the way Nvidia is rising. So is this just... Why is Nvidia rising right now? I don't see it. I see Goolsby speaking. Again, Bostic said, I expect GDP growth north of 2% in 2026. Again, I expect GDP growth north of 2% in 2026. CME Group is going to expand crypto derivative suite with launch of Cardano, Chainlink, and Stellar futures, according to them. But again, Nvidia's bouncing significantly here. I don't see any news for it, though. What's driving NASDAQ back up? AMD, maybe? Yeah, AMD is ripping up as well. Look at AMD's at 230s, you're right. Yeah, AMD at 231s almost. This is what's pulling the NASDAQ up. So again, microchip strength. And this is after TSM gapped up huge on $56 billion in AI spending potentially this year in 2026, which was higher than the previous forecast. Again, AMD up to 231s right now. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, Gold, commodities. Great way to learn. I'll put the link up. They are a sponsor of mine. I am biased. I get paid by them. But if you want to check them out, here is the link. Great way to help support the channel. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Make your own assessment. Trade smart, guys. And yeah, NASDAQ over 25.9s. I'm curious to see if we might test 26,000, which is way up here today. We need a really green day to break 26,000 today, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but maybe. Lower jobs data means no cuts. Yeah, but I think it's also stronger for the labor market. I'm not sure. I think the base case right now is that we don't cut interest rates this month. I don't think we're cutting rates. I think, obviously, I've been saying this for weeks prior to all this other data coming out. I don't think we're cutting rates this month. You never know. I mean, that's always subject to change, but I don't think we really have any data that's going to move it. We got GDP and PCE data next week. Maybe that, like, if inflation comes in, like, shockingly low, I still don't think we're cutting rates this month. Maybe March, maybe before, people are expecting June because that's after Powell steps down. But I really don't know. I really don't think we're cutting interest rates until later on this year. AMD, guys, still flying up. Look at that. It's at 231s right now. Bitcoin back up to almost 97K. Again, are you bullish or bearish for the opening bell today? Again, bull or bear, let me know. Put the poll up here. Market's bullish. Market's up. Again, silver's been falling down here. Here's silver. Silver at 88s right now, guys. 88s. That 91s earlier this morning is now at $88. Bitcoin right at 97K here. Here's 97,000 right here on Bitcoin. Right here. Right at 97K. %66% are bullish out of the vote so far. Jim Cramer said not to buy. Market goes up. I'm not saying it's correlated. I can't really blink. I'm not a good blinker. I try to blink. I try to wink at people. I'm just not good at it. I give up. Top 3 worst blinker. Winker. Ever. Bostic says inflation pressures go beyond tariffs like medical. He said many businesses are still incorporating tariffs into prices, and I expect inflation pressures will continue through this year in 2026. Although he did say they expect to see GDP growth north of 2% this year. Yeah, silver and gold are going down this morning. So I mean, they're still green on the day. Or no, they're red. Sorry. Yeah, they're red. Gold and silver, red. It's just more stability. More stability overseas, making oil go down. More stability in equities, making gold and silver go down, is what this is. Again, Taiwan Semiconductors is up. Nvidia's up. AMD is up. And so that is negatively impacting silver. The stability situation overseas is making oil prices go down as well. Oil under 60 again. So. Again, we're kind of too steep here. Bostic says labor market is not that tight today, but it's not loose. Oil prices again down as U.S. delays action in Iran. And again, Bostic says inflation pressures go beyond tariffs like medical. Many businesses still incorporating tariffs into prices, and inflation pressures will continue through this year, he expects. Look at that 915 level here too, guys. Watching that. Here's 97K for Bitcoin right here too. Just tapped it. AMD still 31s for AMD. You think oil gets back to 70 or 80 in the next 6 months? It depends on what happens, to be honest. Again, oil, guys, the correlation with oil is that when we have potentially higher output, a greater supply of oil, it's supply and demand. When we have a greater supply, the price of crude drops. And so what that means is that we generally get our oil from a lot of different sources, but the Middle East is certainly one of them. And so when there is uncertainty in the Middle East, oil prices might spike, right? Which is what we've seen in oil. Oil prices have been under $60 a barrel now for crude for a while. With the renewed tensions in the Middle East over the last few weeks, oil bounced back over $60 a barrel. Then today we have potentially more stability news there. And so oil prices, because of that, are now back down. Here's oil /CL, this oil futures, oil back down to $59 a barrel. And so that is essentially what it is. More stability, which means more potential output, greater supply of oil, reducing the price. That is the correlation with oil today. Get tech earnings at 8:30. We had Goldman Sachs TSM earnings early this morning. Again, they came in at 314. They expected 282. Revenue of 32.63 billion. They expected 33.73 billion, but their capex and AI spending went up to 56 billion outlook, which is why TSM is up so much. AI is benefiting from it. Yeah, we had BlackRock, they BDPS in revenue, Morgan Stanley BDPS in revenue, Goldman Sachs BDPS in revenue. But outside of that, we don't really have any bank earnings at 8:30. Earnings don't come out at 8:30 generally. Most of the time, big tech earnings usually come out in the evening. Most of the time. So most of the time, tech earnings come out at like 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, stuff like that, like Apple, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, whichever tech stock you want to talk about. Usually the earnings come out after the closing bell versus the morning earnings. Retail earnings come out in the morning a lot of the time, like McDonald's and stuff like that. Big tech, Mag 7, it's usually in the evening. All right, guys, Bitcoin struggling to hold over 97,000. Again, oil down on the day. Silver pulling back after big runs the last few weeks. Silver down to 88.40s right now in silver future. NASDAQ is finally dipping down a little bit. AMD is up, TSM is up, Nvidia is up today. TSM bouncing at the VWAP there. Look at that. Again, Bostic has spoken a lot over the last 15 minutes. Again, he said the labor market is not that tight today, but it is not loose either. Again, Mexico Economy Minister Erbird says Mexico is already reviewing USMCA and have to finish by July 1st, according to them. Again, look at TSM bounce, though, here, guys. This is one of the reasons maybe markets are going up, too. Looking at our votes, 70-30 bull bear today, 70-30. TLT doesn't believe the report, so that would mean if we have lower interest rates from a weaker economy, that means TLT would go up. So that would mean TLT. I mean, TLT reacted negatively to this report, huh? In a higher interest rate sentiment, which I think is the proper reaction. I mean, look, so the report came out here for TLT. So with TLT, like stronger jobs markets means less interest rate cuts. So higher interest rates, which would mean higher yields and lower bond prices, right? So TLT is bond prices. And so what did TLT do on this report, which showed a stronger labor market than expected? TLT dropped. Why? Because that means higher interest rates for longer and ultimately lower bond prices, right? Because because yields and bond prices inverse each other, and interest rates and yields correlate with each other a lot of the time. And so if we have something that shows that interest rates might be higher, again, yields and interest rates inverse, or yields and prices of bonds inverse each other. So higher interest rate sentiment means lower bond prices, basically. And what do we have here? We have TLT going down. It's still net down from this report. The report came out here, and it is currently right here. So it's net down. So I would say TLT is doing what it should do on this report, which showed a stronger labor market than expected and stronger manufacturing, which means bond prices are going to be down a little bit from it. So I know that can get really confusing, but that's what's going on with yields and interest rates right now. Does that make sense, everybody? It does to me, but again, it's super nuanced. And so Morgan Stanley CFO expects net interest income to continue to trend higher as well. Again, I'll go back to this. Interest rates and yields follow each other. So something like stronger labor data shows less need to cut interest rates, so higher yields, higher interest rates. And bond prices and yields inverse each other. So bond prices go up, yields go down. If yields go up, bond prices go down. And higher interest rates means higher yields, which means bond prices decreased, and now they're down. Winking is visual harassment. I mean, I guess it's a good thing I have a really hard time winking here. All right, guys. NASDAQ's now dipping down a little bit. Again, bond prices are down on this report, which they should be because the labor market was stronger than expected. But again, what I'm looking at is TSM right now. I did bounce at the VWAP. It's now right around the 200 exponential. I'm curious to see what we do. 30 minutes until the opening bell, guys. 30 minutes. Bostic says Fed independence gives us the ability to be patient, is what he said. Bostic says need to be restrictive because inflation is too high. Government shutdown is going to distort the data until April or May, he says. The month-over-month data shouldn't be distorted. Maybe the year-over-year data might be, but... Old Michigan. Jobless claims lower than expected, stronger labor than expected, less people filing for unemployment than expected for jobless claims. Yeah, we are going to be day trading live 8:30 Eastern Standard Time today. So, or 9:30 Standard Time today, I mean. Again, Bostic speaking right now, he basically thinks that we should focus on inflation priority. He said we need to stay restrictive because inflation is too high, according to Bostic. I don't know, it showed 2.7%, right? Last time, 2.6 for core. That's high. I mean, it's not, it's higher than the 2% target, but it's not, I wouldn't say that's super high. But again, maybe the data's skewed from the shutdown. That's possible. I will say the jobs market looks stronger than it has been over the last 6 months. Recently. I think the market is waiting for tariff news to break the range. Maybe. I'm not sure when we're going to get the tariff news either. I'm really not sure. It could be any time. Again, they'll let us know when the opinion day is. Silver's still dropping. It's under $88 an ounce for silver futures. And again, Travelers and Anthropic today announced a partnership to expand Travelers' AI-enabled engineering and analytical capabilities. NBP Governor Lipinski says they have 500 tons of gold. All right, guys, here we go. We got less than 30 minutes until the market opens. That at the end of January would be fun. Their excuse to play housing. Bro, I hope not. It's not gonna be funny to me. Again, U.S. exporters are selling 204,000 tons of soybean to China today, apparently. Does silver keep dropping? It depends on if the indexes continue to go higher. Depends on if the SPY and the NASDAQ continue higher. So again, silver's dropping because of more stability in equities and increased prices in equities, right? We have TSM, we have others up. Like that's why silver is going down, is because we got renewed strength in equities and microchips. Yeah, it's definitely mandatory, you know. Tariff news doesn't matter. I think it does. I think markets are waiting for that. Yeah, I think it does, but again, yeah, we got earnings season coming out too, which is interesting. Again, we're at 25.9s. NASDAQ still higher here. 915s is the recent high of the day now. 915. So, watching TSM, we got to watch Nvidia and AMD. They've been making some moves today. Over 25.9s again. Yeah, earnings season's almost here. I mean, we're basically at earnings season right now. But if we had some bank earnings today, but the big season for earnings starts next week, I would say. Maybe next week. Yeah, like next week, trying to see what earnings we got next week, but it's not loading. Bitcoin back up to 97, back over 97,000 for Bitcoin, over at 97.12 right now. Bitcoin just rose over 97,000. Yeah, we got Netflix Tuesday next week after the closing bell. We got a bunch of other earnings too. Intel is going to be Thursday after the closing bell. All right, we're at 25.906 right now, 25.906. Again, Bitcoin rejected at 97,000 again here. The Russian President Putin says international situation is deteriorating. NASDAQ still going up here, 913s. Yeah. Again, we're going to day trade live today. We'll see what we get. Again, Google's still pushing up. We're at 338.70s, 338.70s. We could hit 26,000. It's a long ways away, but it's not that far. 26K is just right here. I mean, it's possible. This is 26,000 right here on the NASDAQ. We're close enough to where it's possible. If we start to get real, like, really strong momentum, maybe. If we start to get some strong momentum, maybe. Yeah, where's oil going? Silver again, break it down. NASDAQ just broke highs of the day again. 919s, 920s. Oil's in a range, but out of the day. NASDAQ just broke highs. Brian. Yeah, SOXL, which is a microchip ETF, is going to be up big on the day. It's because of microchip strength. $61 right now for SOXL. Rick's Bank Bund says inflation has moved closer to targeted real economies to begin to recover. Trying to see what the next Fed speaker is. Again, we got Bostic. We got Barr starting to speak in 13 minutes, 14 minutes. Or I'm sorry, in about 8 minutes. What I meant to say. We got Bostic speaking. I think he's talking about stable coins, right? All right, looking at our poll, are you bullish or bearish for the open? 70% bulls, 30% bears. Yeah, I don't know when the next opinion day is going to be regarding the tariffs. I'll have to look. I'll cover it when we get it, but I don't know when the next opinion day is going to be. Are futures closed on Martin Luther King Day? I'm reading for closed. I'd love to sleep in. Get a long weekend. Shutting down federal offices, banks, post office. Yeah, stock exchange is going to close. Stock market open 9:30 Tuesday. NASDAQ. Bond market is closed. I think it's closed all day. Invite these Supreme Court judges to your room. All right, guys. NASDAQ broke highs of the day, got up to 920. Now it's back down to 912. So we're watching stocks, but microchips are up. Silver is down today. It's silver from $91 to 88. It's been volatile this morning too. It dropped all the way down to 86 earlier in the day. Back up to 91s and then back down to 88. So silver is swinging here on up and down. Too big of a gap up overnight for market to pump at the open. Yeah, I mean, we got a big gap up. We could certainly fill some of that gap on the downside, at least for the first few minutes after the opening bell. We'll see, though. Silver looks like it's trying to make a bounce back here, and the NASDAQ coming down. They seem to be negatively correlated right now. Yeah, U.S. equities and options are fully closed on MLK Day. Futures are open, but we'll have thinner liquidity since the equities are going to be closed. Again, Bitcoin now over 97,000 at almost 97 ones. Silver bouncing back to almost 89s here this morning, and we have less than 20. Yeah, this is silver futures. Spot silver is going to be a different price for sure. Yeah, so the Russian president said the international situation is deteriorating, stressing that peace requires constant effort and responsibility. Silver popping back up. Is oil bouncing back up too? A little bit. Any stocks you guys are looking at this morning? Silver wants 100. It may take a few weeks. Prepare for the fade. Ripping. They get up or down in the first 10 minutes of the open, guys. Let me know. Up or down. Here's 900s. So I might buy 900s here in the NASDAQ. We're green. We got a little cushion. A little thin, but that's all right. We might still buy it. Yeah, I got in early again, but it's just 1 micro. So I'm going to wait until we actually touch 900 here before I buy more. I always get into it so early. I'm like, hey, I'm going to buy 900. I buy 907. Somehow we made it work this week, but still. Gold, Coinbase, gold, down, both down. Silver up, down. A lot of people think down at the opening bell. $18 minutes, guys. Again, look at silver at almost $89. See, this is what I'm worried about. We bounce early here. I'm not gonna add more to it either. I'm just gonna leave one. I'll add more if it pulls down more, but wait. With the Taiwan semiconductor beat. Yeah, microchips are flying. SOXL is up huge. Equities are a little bit more optimistic, and silver's down, gold's down from it. All right, we're gonna add more if we get a larger pullback here. We need a little bit more. It will add to this if we drop down to like around here is what I'm looking for. If we do that, I'm not going to add to it. Not really giving me an easy dip level here. Got close enough to 900, but close enough. Add another level like this. Go. All right. All right. All right, now we'll give it a second. Did not bounce at 900s though, like I wanted to. Not yet, at least. Again, we were green on the day prior to this, so we'll be kind of flat if we cut it. We got the opening bell in 15 minutes. Import prices showed up at 0.1% versus expected 0.4% today. Export showed up at 3.3 versus expected 0.8 today. Going on Exxon, Chevron, ConocoPhillips. You might want to check them out. What is my thoughts on what? Yeah, so Russian's president says Russia and Saudi Arabia and OPEC Plus helps with stabilizing the oil market. Where oil's at? Yeah, oil's still struggling. Alright, we're probably going to just cut this unless we bounce fast here. Fast bounce. I'll take some of this off up here. Limit the trade. Maybe I can add it back. It's such a small loss that give it a little bit more time if it goes in my favor now. Maybe add back size for risk management purposes. Silver's still climbing higher, almost to 89 again. AMD's dipping down too. Music's giving me anxiety. What does John think about claims? I mean, I think we're seeing better labor data over the last like month and a half. Although some of it might be skewed from the shutdown, but I think we're seeing better labor data, especially in terms of like jobless claims, which are lower and lower claims each week. So today they showed up at 198,000, which was lower than expected. Yields are up on this report, as they probably should be. This means we're more likely to stay higher for longer in terms of interest rates, and yields and interest rates follow each other. So yields are higher. Bond prices are down a little bit from this report. If you look at like TLT and bond prices, they're down from this report net. The report came out here, they're down, which is what you would expect. If we have higher interest rate sentiment, bond prices themselves are going to go down, and stronger claims means higher interest rate sentiment. Less need to cut rates, basically. Yeah, we got a little bit of a pop, but again, it's kind of a break-even trade right now. We're not really doing much. We got the opening bell in 12 minutes. We'll see what that looks like, but good. I'm gonna take half of this off just to lock in profit, eliminate some of this risk. I think even if we drop at the open, there's a chance we might run up and at least test highs at the opening bell. So I'm gonna add to this here. There we go. I'm gonna take half off there again. Nicely green on the trade now. Might add back on a pullback here. Looking to add on a pullback. The pullback's a little thin right now, though. I'll wait. Silver's still pushing higher here. Silver over $89 a barrel. Bitcoin's right down at 97,000 again. Now we just added back again. Got a pop. We're going to take half off there again. Make a move up here to test this high before the opening bell. There we go. Gonna cut it right there around that level here at 915. A very nice green trade again. We got a nice little cushion for the open. Basically the logic of this trade is to take this range up here. That makes sense. It might continue higher. I don't really like high the day breaks though, so. Yeah, silver's back over 89s. Again, Bitcoin's back under 97s. Microchips are still trying here. Nvidia bouncing at the 200 exponential. Google up to 338s. Taiwan Semiconductor still consolidating. It's been flat for hours now after their earnings report this morning. Again, silver's still climbing here. Look at it, 89.20. Nine minutes left, chat. Isn't Bostic supposed to be speaking right now? Or no, is it Bostic? Yeah, it's Bostic. Oh. Bostic. It's Barr. Michael Barr is supposed to speak right now. Bostic already spoke. AMD at 229s. Oh, I want to see if AMD bounces at the VWAP here. Michael Burry should not be the Fed chairman. Too biased. Hey, coming from the top 3 most biased person ever. Burry's too biased. Bitcoin fading back down under 97,000. NASDAQ still rising here. Let's watch 925s. See if microchips continue to show strength at the opening bell in 7 minutes. Goldman Sachs is looking to raise at least $12 billion in a 6-part bond sale. President should be Fed chairman. Bro. All right, NASDAQ still climbing higher. We're at 927s. Look at the strength. Again, you can say maybe I sold too early, but I think right before the opening bell, taking like this type of sliver, fine. The range. I think we're looking more and more likely we could test 26,000 today, which is up here in the NASDAQ. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in 6 minutes. Looking at our poll, 71% of you guys think we're going to have a bullish open, 29% think bearish. Again, one of the stocks that's been doing really well is Alphabet, man. That thing has been pumping up. It's at 339s. He said it's a bubble. AI is a bubble, but if you use Copilot for coding, you know it's not. Yeah, I mean, AI is incredibly useful. Anybody that says it's not useful, it doesn't use it enough to understand its usefulness, to be honest, right? You got a lot of people that are like, oh, AI is crap. No, it's not. No, it's not. Again, you're not using it in the right ways. In some areas, it's not the most accurate thing, but generally, it's incredibly useful. And it's going to ingrain itself in everyday life more and more as time goes on. It's going to get better and better and better as time goes on. And so if you understand that growth pattern and you extrapolate that over, again, 30 years, it's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy good in the future. And so these AI companies probably, and again, I'm going to say probably because I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if he loses. This is definitely not investment advice. But they're probably going to continue to go higher. You know, now maybe we correct in between then. You could argue that. I'm not necessarily even against that correction thesis, but I think it's pretty likely they go up over time just based off of how much AI is going to enwrap itself in everything humans do, you know. All right, guys, here we go. We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Again, TSM down at 342s, and I'm not even saying that's a good idea. You know, I think there's risks to this, obviously. I'm just talking about what the pattern of the future looks like to me. Obviously, I think robotics is going to be one of the next big things. Next big money grabs is going to be robotics. And I think that's the natural step in the evolution of the technology is robotics. But timeline for that's a little bit iffier. NASDAQ 940s right now. It's looking more and more likely we're going to break 26,000. TSM down though. Look at TSM drop. Again, I think Nvidia's been what's been waking up this morning. Nvidia at 186 this year. We got other tech strength today as well. AI is a joke. Nobody uses it. Hell, if you're being sarcastic. I mean, again, do you guys agree with that? Do you guys think AI is a joke and nobody uses it? Yes or no? I'd have to go with no. Again, Netflix is green on the day. I'll take it. Green is good in Netflix. Just from somebody that uses AI every day, I disagree with that. All right, guys, NASDAQ up to 942s right now. Still breaking highs. Nvidia bouncing. Silver rebounding a little bit. Bitcoin getting pushed back under 97,000. We got the opening bell in 3 minutes, guys. Less than 3 minutes. NASDAQ up to 945s, almost 950s. We are $50 away, basically, and $56 away from 26,000 in the NASDAQ. Again, closer to all-time highs for sure. You expect markets to drop a lot in the afternoon like it has historically over the weekend? Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure. You never know. You could look at history. Again, Mark Twain, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes sometimes. We'll see if it rhymes this upcoming Monday. I don't know. Maybe. I appreciate the donation. I don't mean to give like a vague answer. I really just don't know. Those are not usually market moves that I try to take advantage of, to be honest. So I really don't know for sure. I appreciate the donation, though. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. AI is wrong, gives horrible information all the time. Yeah, again, it depends on how you use it. If you ask AI to query things, especially recent things, yes, it can give wrong answers, 100%. But that's only one very specific use case argument for AI. It's much, much more broad than just asking it to query things. You know, and that's where a lot of people get it wrong. All right, guys, we're up to 950 here, 950. If we hold NVIDIA, rip it up, 186.82 high of the day for NVIDIA, 186.82. We got the opening bell in 1 minute now, guys, 1 minute. Again, Bitcoin at 96.7s here, 96.7s. All right, we got 40 seconds here. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed for the opening bell today, guys. We'll see what we get. Again, up or down at the opening bell. Let me know, up or down. We got 30 seconds. Less than that, actually. But Cool Running's a great movie. Real ones know here. The real ones know. Again, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. A lot of people think there's going to be a correction at the opening bell. We'll see if y'all are right. Here's a drop right now ahead of the bell here in 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Let's see what happens. NVIDIA just broke highs of the day, got up to almost 187s right now at the opening bell, 187s. I think we got to look at like TSM today at the open as well. TSM all the way up to 340s, at 320s at the close yesterday. NASDAQ bouncing here at 925s. NVIDIA still trying to push here. Now it's retracing some. Alphabet's pulling back substantially at the opening bell. It's on the 330s right now. 336 for Alphabet. The president's administration is expected to finalize the 26 biofuel blending quotas by early March, according to sources. All right, so again, Alphabet pulling back a little bit is what I see right now. Down at 335s today. 335s. 335s. We're up to almost 915s. Again, we are getting some red at the opening bell, although AMD is strong. It's at 231s. Right now, AMD is strong. Netflix is strong. NVIDIA is kind of flat since the bell. Again, I got to wait 4 or 5 minutes to trade. AMD just broke highs again up to 231.70s, almost 232s for AMD right now. AMD at 232s. Again, TSM down at 340s. Look at AMD break highs, 232 plus now for AMD. In some runs right now. I don't want to buy this dip, but we're too close to the opening bell. Best variance. $233s for AMD, 233s. Now look at this pump for AMD. TSM is down, Alphabet is down though, and other stuff's kind of flat, but Actually pretty nicely green on the day. All right, guys, we are about 2 minutes in. I still can't trade yet. I gotta wait until 3 or 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in really is really ideal. Maybe I should have bought the dip. AMD 235s right now at the opening bell. Almost 236s here. AMD's not the most heavily weighted tech stock, but it could influence chip stocks in general here. AMD got 236s. Yeah, let's look at silver and gold right now. Gold up to 4600s again. Silver 89 plus, trying to make back 90s here. All right, guys. Silver up to almost $90. Dip it down a little bit. Again, we are only about 3.5 minutes in. I'm almost able to trade here. I don't know what to do here. It's looking weak though at the bell. AMD pushed up a lot, but other microchip stocks. Nvidia's actually just broke highs at 187.40s right now. I still can't trade though. I need about 4 seconds. All right, guys, so we are plus 4 minutes out into the opening bell. NASDAQ is weak. Silver's back up to almost $90 an ounce here. AMD's pulling back. Bitcoin's pulling back. Alphabet's pulling back. AMD's very strong still at 233s right now. Nvidia's slightly green since the opening bell. Question is, does silver take control here, or does the NASDAQ? I do want to buy this, but I do want to wait a second here. I just don't think it's easy to predict which way this is going now. I think it's kind of whippy. We're down to 880s here. 880s. Flushes from Alphabet specifically. All right, we're almost down to the 200 exponential, so I'm going to buy this here. We add to it as we get closer to the 200 exponential. We're green, but not that green. I'm going to add to this now. They say don't catch a falling knife. Definitely don't. There's the 200 exponential. We're going to see if we get a pop right there. All right, we're almost green. Gotta go back and forth. All right, we're out. Most of that. Look at that bounce right there. The 200 exponential. I'm out. You love to see that. In and out quick here. In and out quick. 200 exponential bounce. You know, I'm kind of like a broken record about it, but look, man. This blue line right here is the 200 exponential. Look at where we bounce. 1 minute chart specifically. I think algorithms are the cause of it, but works, it works. Big cushion on the day now. I don't know what I want to do here. I'm going to wait, though. And Bitcoin falling all the way back down to 96.3s for Bitcoin at the opening bell here. Good. 200 exponential. All right. Yeah, we're retesting the 200 exponential again. Even if we break down underneath it, the bounce worked. I'm not gonna mess with it. Worked for 60 seconds, bro. I was in and out what, like 30. Again, I mean, look, if we can identify where we're gonna bounce this quickly, doesn't matter how long I hold it. It matters the movement of the chart. And again, specifically, probably could have bought it again right here. Rode in this little range up here, even if it breaks down. So if it bounces at that level 2 or 3 times, and then on the 4th one it drops down, that's still 75%. You know. Again, Nvidia started to turn a little bit though. Alphabet did bounce back as well though. Or weave up for some big reason. Really? I mean, it's up on AI. Microchip strength, probably. But it is flying. I've been hitting 98s just now. It kind of pulled back quick, though. Watch this 853 all day. I'm not going to buy it, though. I don't trust it enough, but... 853s. Little bounce right there. $853s. Oh, I just exited out of the music actually. $853s, man. Look at that. All day it's been bouncing there. I'm not gonna say my levels are the top 3 greatest levels of all time ever right here. You know. Should have bought it. NASDAQ coming back here. Look at this rebound in markets here, just got bought up. Checking on breaking news here to see if we got anything. But BlackRock CEO says there's good justification for lowering rates if you believe in the power of AI. Putting on CNBC. Whippy right now, guys. Again, Nvidia went all the way up to highs at 187.75, and then it's kind of whipping back down here. This is whippy. Price action today. All right, guys, we're up to 877. 874s. NASDAQ back on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dumping down to under 96,000 right now. NASDAQ's kind of choppy over the last 5, but we bounced right at 180. We bounced at whatever level this is I have on my chart. Again, Nvidia tapped highs at 188s just now. for Nvidia. Broke highs of the day at 188s. Nvidia. Look at Nvidia, guys. 188.05 now, 07s now. Silver's kind of slowing down after Nvidia's running up here this morning, though. All right, guys. Again, CoreWeave at 97.80s. Nvidia up there as well. Bitcoin falling here. It does look strong. Still a little ways away from 26,000, but look at Nvidia rip here, 188.30s. Again, crude is down over $3 a barrel on easing concerns about overseas stuff. Goldman Sachs CEO says they're optimistic about the outlook for equity and debt underwriting, particularly amid the resurgence in the IPO market. Investment banking backlog is at highest levels for years. There's good justification for lowering rates if you believe the power of AI, according to the BlackRock CEO as well. CoreWeave flying up, and Nvidia up to 188.50 again. Look at the NASDAQ up to 925s here. 188.60s. NASDAQ turn here. Nvidia up to 189s. ESM ripping back up as well. I'll buy a dip now. I'm definitely interested in buying a pullback. This point in time, we get a dip down to 900s or 915. Depends on how fast we move down to 915s, but I might buy those up. 925s. We're gonna start with one here. See if we rip back up fast. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Dude, I haven't needed to hold these trades for very long. Been a pretty good week on this account too. Been a pretty good week. This is the week so far. That's the week so far. Pretty good. Green is good. Look at that pullback here as well. Whoa. I'm gonna buy this immediately down here. We add to it. Pick 3 contracts, that's it. Okay, you gotta pop real quick. If we bounce at 900, I will cut it. Still green on the day, even if we trade. We're up so much. I'm gonna cut some of this though on this rebound. I'm worried he's gonna reject it 915. What it did. Good thing I cut that. See. $900 is my bounce level, so if we break under that, I'll cut the rest. $900 level held support. I'm gonna reduce my size here some more, just risk management. We're up so much on the day, I don't want to give it back. So much more risk-free trade. Bitcoin, guys, falling now. Look at Bitcoin down to 95,650s here. 95,650s. All right, now we're green on the trade. I could have held, but again, risk management. I gotta just kind of safe here. Look at that. Do I want to add to this? Maybe 925 did reject it though. I'm gonna add right back here. Unless we get like a brutal flush back down, we'll be as it brutally flushes back down. We're still green on the day, but man, you don't love to see it. I'll put up my other account here and see. Maybe we'll try again on that. Got the cushion for it. Yeah, Bitcoin's starting to bounce. Yeah, I think we're elevated today too, so be careful, guys. We are in this here, look. It's not big. Alright, we're out. I mean, again, I'm probably done trading this one today though. This one up. Bitcoin back up to almost 96,000 though, see if that holds. Yeah, we're kind of chopping sideways now. I don't know what we're going to do. So. And I don't know if Nvidia and others are going to start to dip down or what. The 200 EMA again. Not going to mess with big of a red candle. Let me make sure we don't have any new. BlackRock CEO says if we don't underinvest in AI, if we underinvest in AI, China wins. Do not believe there's an AI bubble by any imagination. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy this 200 exponential level like I normally do. We're just the pullback's a little bit too large for me, and it's the retest, so I never attack the retest, if that makes sense. Meaning, if we bounce here originally and then come all the way back down and retest it quickly, I don't buy it again. Like, I'm not gonna do this again here because the likelihood that we are going to dump underneath it this time goes up. It doesn't mean it's gonna dump underneath it, but it just means it's a little bit more probable that we do. Goldman Sachs CEO sees tailwinds from more balanced regulatory regime. Will be spending time with the president in Davos next week. According to the BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, that is. We're retracing down some here. We hold. What happens if we drop now? We've been pretty accurate today on our main account. We're running at 67, or no, that was last week. 72.5% today. So. Video now all the way back down to the VWAP here. I want to see if we pop. I don't know. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. I'll put the link up. No PDT roll in the future. They trade the S&P NASDAQ down. It's pinned to the top of the chat. We did bounce right here again. Maybe I should have held it, but again, TSMC leads techs today at 345s almost. Watch at that 350 level for TSM. Nvidia is bouncing around the VWAP. Maybe it wants 190s today. Bitcoin's bouncing back over 96,000. Well, right now. Yeah, we don't really have any other news today. And then tomorrow I think is a little bit lighter here. Kind of whippy today, guys. Here's 900. That holds. I do see TSM break highs again at the opening bell at least. Pre-market highs are higher at 350, at 345s right now. But I do see some rebounds here. We'll see if they hold. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, guys. Listen, I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Again, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. No PDT roll in futures. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose money. So I'll put the link up. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much, guys. And again, hopefully, let me know real quick before I leave. Are you red or green today? Red or green today? Let me know. Back up to 915 now. All right, looking at our poll. Green, red, red. Slightly red, but green, gold, green, red. Mostly green, it looks like today. Some people are red. It's all good. Tomorrow's another day. Again, remember, I'm not an investment professional. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. And again, I'm going to cut out of here, guys. So, again, as soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you to tomorrow's stream. Join it. Just like over there. Later, guys. Have a great day.